Hi, my name is Mary Brabham, and I'm a student with EDU 1107. Today I'm going to discuss Lev Vygotsky and his social interaction theory as it pertains to education. My goal for this lesson is to provide you with information about Lev Vygotsky and what his theory of social interactions was and how you can apply it to your classroom and your teaching. What do you think of when you hear the words social interaction or social interaction theory? Do you think about adults talking to other adults, or children talking to other children, or perhaps adults and children interacting with one another? Those are the things that I think of. It also makes me think of the word social. So, to find the definition of social, I looked in the Merriam-Webster's School Dictionary for high school students. And this is what it says under the entry word social. Pertaining to sociability, and sociability says, of or relating to human society, the interaction of the group and its members, and the welfare of these members, tending to form cooperative and interdependent relationships with one's fellows, naturally living or growing in groups or communities. This definition exactly follows the ideas of Lev Vygotsky, that when we work and play and interact in social settings, we're learning and we're developing language skills and building our knowledge. So back to my question. What do you think of when you hear the words social interaction? When do adults have social interactions? When do children have social interactions? Who do they interact with? Where do they have interactions? Well, I'm an adult. I have interactions with adults and children on a daily basis. I'm a wife, I'm a mother, and a teacher. I interact with other people at home, at church, at schools, at the grocery store, the bank, the list goes on. And children. Children interact with adults and other children on a daily basis. This occurs at their homes, at their schools, at their churches, on the playground, at the grocery store, at the beach, anywhere that they happen to go. So with that in mind, we know that people interact with each other every day. So when does social interaction begin? Social interaction begins at birth. And this is another thought of Lev Vygotsky. When a child is born, he or she begins, this is another one of Lev Vygotsky's ideas, that from the moment children are born, they begin acquiring language and begin interacting with the parents and the siblings and the grandparents and the friends and just the environment around them. They're constantly learning and acquiring new information. Let me introduce you to Lev Vygotsky. Lev Vygotsky was born in Russia to a middle-class family in 1896. He graduated from the University of Moscow in 1917. He became a secondary school literature teacher. He was interested in cognitive and language development and their relationship to learning, which led to his research. His contemporaries were Sigmund Freud, Jean Piaget, and Maria Montessori. His research led to many theories about learning and knowledge acquisition. Unfortunately, he died very early. He died of tuberculosis at the age of 38. Many researchers and people in education believe that because he died at such a young age, many of his theories were not brought to the United States, primarily because most education scholars were learning about Jean Piaget and those theories. Vygotsky believed that children's social interactions led to knowledge acquisition and learning, which is also known as social learning or social interaction theory. Vygotsky believed that language development and social interaction go hand in hand with one another. Vygotsky believed that personal and social experiences cannot be separated or done separately. Children learn from each other every day. Vygotsky believed that much learning takes place when children play. They use language, determine conditions of the make-believe play, discuss roles, and objects and directions. They correct one another. They learn about situations and ideas they have not tried yet. Vygotsky believed that this type of interaction contributes to children's construction of knowledge, to their learning. And I have some examples here. The first example would be children at play. Children at the beach, like we would take our children to the beach, or any children. These children are probably having fun, they're talking and giggling, they're playing with the sand, they've probably been in the water splashing around. As they're playing, they're also acquiring language, they're acquiring new ideas and scaffolding knowledge. I have some examples here. If you look in the picture, you can see they have little buckets and shovels, and you can just imagine that they're talking about which one's going to make the better sand castle, or if they use this little sifter, will the sand go through or the water go through, or can they catch little minnows or scoop up shells? They'd also be playing with little shovels and decide, well, which one's better for digging a big hole or a little trench, things like that. Not only would the children use these in their personal time, but also if you're an early childhood education teacher, you could use these for their outside activities, and this would generate language and discussion and play. In addition to playing on their own, of course, there's role playing at school. In this picture, we have children that are dressing up, and we have one little boy that's pretending to be a construction worker, another little boy right here, he has books and a tie, maybe he's a professor or a teacher, or maybe he's a businessman or a dad. We have another little girl who's dressed up, perhaps she's pretending to be a nurse or a doctor, and we have a little girl who could be a clown, or perhaps just having fun pretending she's at a party. As children role play, they can imagine that they're all grown up. They can become different people than they are right now as children. They're building language, they're building communication skills, and they're having fun doing it. Finally, we have children at school. A lot of times teachers use manipulatives, whether it's in math, science, different things. We have 3 children here that are playing with manipulatives or working with manipulatives. We have 2 children here that seem to be interacting with one another. Maybe they're working together. We have another little boy who seems to be doing his own thing over here. One of the things that Vygotsky said is that learning doesn't always have to be verbal or oral. This little boy, even though he's not talking to anybody or doesn't appear to be, he could be hearing what the other people are saying or what the teacher is saying. And so learning is going on continually. What I would like to do right now is read you a very short excerpt from a book that I found. It's entitled Theories of Childhood. It's the 2nd edition by Carol Garhart Mooney. It's an introduction to Dewey, Montessori, Erikson, Piaget, and Vygotsky. As concerning social interaction, if you think about the different groups that I just talked about, Vygotsky believes that interactive situations, like the ones that I just showed you, allow children to stretch and grow mentally. Too often, teachers have acted as if language and cognition abilities will develop with little help or direction. But growing and learning does not necessarily happen naturally. A teacher from a previous generation used to say, "The children will grow taller without my help, but not smarter or kinder." Teachers need to develop the skills of observing, questioning, and encouraging peer interactions that will best support children's growth and development. They need to think about when to step in with suggestions or ideas and when to let children proceed on their own. Vygotsky's theory that development is interactive changes the way we think about children's learning. For some teachers, the idea that children can help each other learn is very freeing. They suspect that they have sometimes interrupted excellent opportunities for group learning to call children to circle time, where they must sit and listen. Vygotsky has helped teachers to see that children learn not only by doing, but also by talking, working with friends, and persisting at tasks until they get done. To support children's social learning, teachers can provide many opportunities for children to help one another or to work together on projects of their own. So, with all of this new information, how can we apply Vygotsky's theories of learning and social interaction into our daily teaching in our classrooms? I believe that Vygotsky's theory of social interaction fits well with what we have been learning in this course, EDU 1107. Our role is facilitator and teacher. When we use differentiated instruction, flexible grouping, collaboration, collaborative activities, pairing, peer tutoring, we are providing opportunities for social interaction in our classrooms. And this is what social interaction theory is all about. If you would like to learn more about Mr. Vygotsky and his theories, here are two resources that I recommend: Theories of Childhood and also the website, Learning Theories website. Both have very good information about Mr. Vygotsky and his theories. So here's the assignment I have for those of you that would like to reply in the form to this post. Tell me one new thing that you learned about Lev Vygotsky and his theory of social interaction. Thank you so much and have a good day.